What's good, people? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house again. And man, what a half week, not even a whole week, a half week we've had. A lot of stuff, rumors, drama, injuries, reports, all this kind of stuff leading up to a very important game we got this week in this Sunday night versus the Steelers, man. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can take any more, man. But it's one thing about the Cowboys, always something. It's never just, you know. But we gonna talk all about that here in just a minute. Y'all hang with your boy.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
Again, what's good? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house, back in the saddle. One more again. Look, man, it's been a lot going on this week. Um, only in the life of the Cowboy because so much stuff happened in like a 3 day period. 3-4 days if you want to count it from like Saturday or whatever. But going on to today. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. I got a couple of extra subscribers that came on board last couple of weeks, man. I want to appreciate you guys having some appreciation for what I do. I'm not exactly an expert at doing this, but your boy trying, and he's trying to get his stuff together. He's trying to make sure we give you some good content, good information, in an sort of an enjoyable context, a fun context, and we're just gonna talk about it, the stuff. So I will say I apologize because I know last time I could not see the stuff going on in the chat. Guy was like wanted me to comment on a couple things, and I didn't see it until after I got off the video. And I'm like, man, I would have loved to have had some back and forth. So I'm watching my chats this time. You ain't gonna get away from me this time. So if anybody comes in, wanna chime in, got your notifications, you come on. I'm going to let's see here. Okay. All right. So anywho, anyway, so it starts off with I kind of laid into it on Saturday. I talked to you guys Saturday from my truck. The first time I've ever done that, and it was kind of wonky out the gate because I was trying to. It's weird how I have to set the video up, but you gotta mount the thing, but then you really can't get the buttons right on the phone while it's on the thing, because you kind of got to hold it in your hand to do it, what I need to do, and kind of get it set up and then put it up there. So it's sort of, it's just clumsy. It really is. But once it got going, man, it seemed to be pretty good. And I got, like 100 and some odd viewers, man. That was pretty good, man. Cause like I said, I just, and I figured a lot of people would be, it's Saturday, and a lot of people just chilling around the house. Oh, Fred's on. Let's see what he's talking about. And so I appreciate those guys that came on and watched the video, whatever. So anyway, we found out after the Giants game on Thursday, we knew that D-Law and Micah were hurt. We didn't know what the extent of them were, but we know now. Micah has a high ankle sprain. He'll be missing probably 2 to 4 weeks, and probably what'll happen, he'll miss the Pittsburgh game, miss the Detroit game, and then we'll go to the bye, and then he'll be back probably for the 49ers game. because it's a bye in there. So that's like 3 weeks. So I look for him to be back then. Then the D-Law one is not as it's not as easily digestible. So D-Law, he's got what is called a Liz Frank injury, is what it was feared. And of course, your boy, look that up, because I want to make sure I'm telling you guys what it is. First of all, I want to make sure I was spelling it right. You understand what I'm saying? I want to make sure I was spelling it right. But Liz Frank is the group of bones and ligaments in the midfoot, and it stabilizes the foot's arch and helps it transfer loads from the lower leg throughout the foot, all the way to the toes when walking or running. So you can't walk or run with a Liz Frank injury. Man, it just sounds painful, because you can imagine a straining or a spraining of the arch in those bones and around the archway and stuff. And that just seems like, and you, especially if you're somebody that's running around and stuff, I would imagine that would be something that's very very painful. So he's going to be out, I think, 4 to 8 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks. So don't look for D-Law to be back before November. Man, of course, at that point, you never want to say this kind of stuff. I'm just saying it because I just want to put it out there, because you always want to be ready for anything that comes your way. But I mean, at that point, depending on what our record looks like, we're not really wanting to claim that. I'm just putting that in there because, because we know he last year of his contract, and if it's November, 1st or whatever, and let's say, what's that, 8 games from now, and let's say we are 8 for, it's like 12 games, 11 games in, and let's say we're 4-7. What will be the point? I mean, we're still in contention, because you could still win the rest of your games, because the last part of our schedule is pretty light. But you always have to look at that. So he's gonna be out. So of course, Cowboys getting ready to get on the horn and get around to calling some people. Get around to, we're missing both of our edge rushers on the left side and the right side, and our 2 of our 3 best defensive players. Remember, 3 of our best defensive players were out in that game against the Giants in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. But Diggs obviously came back in. So of course the Cowboys are going to be Johnny on the spot and go get us some dudes, man. Go get us a guy. Go get us a guy, right? Shoot. Go talk to the Jets about Hassan Reddick, right? Pump the brakes. Look, man, if I learned nothing else since I've been doing content, I have learned the personality of my team. It's like, if you married for a while, like I've been, you kind of know what your other half will do in certain situations. You just know what their characteristics are. And the Cowboys were not getting ready to go and do anything like the Chiefs would do. Like, they would go and get somebody, but, they're winning championships, or the 49ers would do, they would do that, or the Eagles would do. Harry Roseman would go get somebody, we're all in on these young guys. So we're going to go to the practice squad. And the practice squad we did. We went and signed, and I didn't even put that on the daggum thing. How did I? I thought I did. Yeah, to the 4 week deal. Yeah. We acquired Henry, but not the Henry you thinking about. Not Derrick Henry, who got like 500 yards already in like 4 games. had 191 yards and 2 touchdowns and a touchdown catch in the dismantling of the Buffalo Bills on Sunday night. On like 18 carries too. Goodness gracious. And they tried to get him his 200 yards too, and it just didn't work out. Just didn't work out. Drop my remote control. Okay. So, no, not that Henry. We're talking about practice squad player KJ Henry off of the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad, who was drafted in the, I want to say, the 3rd or 4th round last year by the Washington Commanders, of which Jeff Shanina was on that staff, and he's familiar with that guy. So that's a lot of times that's how that thing works. Okay, make sure my camera works, and this is my camera remote. Okay, so yeah, so there's a familiarity there. But my thing is, the Cincinnati Bengals got one of the worst defenses in the league, and they ain't got no kind of pass rush. So you got a guy that couldn't make that squad, and you want to get that guy to strengthen your pass rush. Okay. While you're at it, why didn't you go on and get Justin Rogers, who y'all let get away, and the Bengals scooped him up off our practice squad? Because we know we need tackles as well. But yeah, we got not Derrick Henry, but KJ Henry. He's and I went and looked him up. He's they got him out of Clemson. He is. Here we go. He is 6'5", and he is where is it? Dang it. He's 6'5" and like 265 pounds. I can't find my daggum pull down. Things have ways of just getting up and walking away when you least expect it. But anyway, yeah, he's out of Clemson. He's like 6'5" and like 265 pounds. Oh, I know why. Because it was part of this right here. Yeah, I know why. Because I had D-Law pulled up and somehow it went away. I don't know where it went. But anyway, yeah. So we picked him up. A lot of people say he's got good energy, and so that's what you want. Probably Carl Lawson and Tavis Wheat from the guys he was on our practice squad too. We drafted him last year, so those guys will probably be. But they of course not they're gonna get Hassan Reddick because Hassan Reddick is holding out from the Jets, and he's I hope this thing turns around for Hassan, because that dude then probably reneged on about $3-4 million, because he's getting digged for like $1 million a game. He's missed 4 games now, and the thing is, he after like week 6, if you don't do something, you're it's like your year. You have to do that year all over again. So you didn't gain anything. You just missed like I don't know how many millions of dollars, and you still, when you come back, you're in the same place you were the year before. You're in the same place. So yeah. So he's really not doing himself no good. But I don't know. You knew he wanted a contract, and the Jets. I don't know if they're not willing to do whatever. He's making like $14 million a year, but whatever. But yeah, the Cowboys weren't gonna call about that right there. Somebody that we'd just rather get a practice squad dude. And maybe in this instance, maybe that makes sense. So we got some depth, because they're gonna move Chauncey Golston. He's gonna move to the edge, and like I said, Wheat, Lawson, Henry, so yeah, those guys will, and of course Marshawn Nealon, the guy we drafted this year, second round out of Western Michigan, he'll probably get some duty at edge rusher too. So we'll see how that goes. But anyhow, now as soon as we got those things, you got the injury update, then you got the reaction from the team, which like I said, they went and signed. And I've also heard some rumblings about Al-Qaid Muhammad. Remember, he played some in the preseason. I think he's out of Miami. He got drafted out of Miami back in 2000, 2018, I think, 18 or 19. And anyhow, so those are some of the dudes that's going to be our edge rushers. Al-Qaid, Carl Lawson, Tavis Weed, Chauncey Golston, Marshawn Nealon, and so those will be the guys. And KJ Henry, those guys. Usually you want to have 4 or 5. You can have a nice rotation. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how that works. And so today, of course, if you saw the games on Sunday, you knew that there was some fallout from the Raiders-Browns game. And that from two fronts, actually, because one front, you had Amari Cooper having a bad game, and of course that the Browns have taken like 95% of his salary and turned it into a signing bonus, and so, or roster bonus or whatever it is, and his salary is only like $900,000. So basically setting it up for somebody who wants to, if they want him. And there's been talk about him coming back to the Cowboys. Of course, now, all the people I've listened to, Mike and Lando, which, he's a great receiver, but he's also does not do certain things in certain games, and he'll check out on you and stuff like that. And of course, now the whole vaccination thing and whatever, there was some stuff going on with that. So it didn't end well with him here in Dallas. But on the other side of that game, we had the comeback win of the Raiders against the Browns. And, of course, Devontae Adams didn't play, which prompted Antonio Pierce, the head coach, to say, some people on the team made business decisions. Sometimes you say that when somebody don't want to make a tackle or don't want that smoke when they're on the field. They try to avoid it. But what he meant was some people decided to duck and dodge that game. So, the organization is going to be making some business decisions too. And of course, now when it was talked about on Instagram or X about, the Devontae Adams seeking a trade, you can't like nothing to hold you to that. You can't do that and hide. You gotta, So of course now it's been full scale today. That's all they was talking about today. Devontae Adams has requested a trade. So of course now Diana Rossini basically said, she's heard people say that the Cowboys had contacted them about his availability and wanting to check on some things. Now, good and daggone well, Cowboys ain't trying to do that. Devontae Adams, man, shoot, I got his contract right here. Now that I got. Let's see here. Let's see. Thought I had it. Well, shoot, let's see. There we go. Yeah, I had this up and it went away. But anyway, his cap hit for this year is $25 million. He got about $17 million in cash. His career earnings $129 million. I don't even know all that. But all I do know is the next 2 years, he signed that deal after the 2021 season. He's played there 2 seasons, 22 and 23. This is his 3rd season there. his 25 and 26 salaries are going to be about $35 million. Now, that's way out of the Cowboys thing. Now, that's the rumor that the Cowboys are along with the Jets and the Saints, because it's been rumored that he wants to talk to he wants to play with teams with quarterbacks that he's played for before, which would be, David Carr or Derek Carr. I'm sorry, David Carr is on NFL Network. Derek Carr is with the New Orleans Saints, who ate us up in game 2 this year. And then, of course, Aaron Rodgers plays for the Jets. So he's talking about those two teams. But, of course, he's still under contract. And when you're under contract, you really can't select where you want to go. Now, you would hope that the team would do right by him, because you never know. You might have to go acquire another free agent. If you did that free agent dirty, you might not have a chance to get that free agent. They know if the thing goes south, you won't, try to at least help them get into a good situation. Don't go send them to the Panthers. Don't send them to the Broncos. Don't send them to, the Jaguars, which I'm thinking. So I'm really weird saying that, because they really weren't looked at to be a bad team, but they are. But here's the thing, though. Of course, now I listened to Mike Fisher today, and he was saying, it don't make sense because the Cowboys are in a blow it up mode, and they're all in for the guys this year, and they're going to keep their powder dry for next year. But my thing is that, well, I understand that, and the Cowboys got about that they freed up from the contracts of CeeDee Lamb and Dak, which they could have done back in March, and you could have had that $25 million then, but they didn't want that $25 million then. They wanted it at the end of the year where you wouldn't have nobody to spend it on, so they could roll that over into next year, because you got about 30 people on the team that's on 1-year contracts. So half of them guys are probably going to make the team, and half of them teams, that salary cap that's occupied by those 15, 20 guys are going to be released. So Cowboys could probably have about $50, $60 million of cap room next year, right? But here's the thing. Why would you feel like you got a year to waste? Like, we're going to wait till next year. Man, we might not even be here next year. That's, when I'm not old, but I'm in my 50s. I don't think the same way I thought in my 20s. I thought a lot about, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next year. But when you get to a certain point, you really start realizing you don't have next year. You really don't. While you posturing and setting stuff up for next year, how Dak Prescott might not get hurt, and then everything goes to pot? Or CeeDee Lamb tears an ACL. I hate to put that out in the atmosphere. Then everything goes to pot. And you had an opportunity this year to kind of make the most out of the year you have with the money you have and just go for it. And no, we're going to go for next year. Not understanding each year got its share of things that happen, So, and then the other thing is, you might go next year and might not have a free agent on the level of a Devontae Adams available, in which you could get him now. Now, here's what you could say. You could make him restructure his deal or renegotiate his deal. It don't have to be a rental. Renegotiate his deal. Say, look here, man, we're going to at least keep you for 3 years. We're going to restructure this thing. You can probably, because we're not going to have as much money this year, but next year and the next year after that, we got to sign Micah. But look, man, with you, Micah, Dak, Tyler Smith, Trayvon Diggs, probably Tyler Guyton, we got, the makings of a Super Bowl team. If Mozzie continues to improve, we got the makings of, especially with the linebackers, Luafau and Overshown, who's showing promise, Jake Ferguson. We got the makings of a team that we believe. And I think his contract was 5 years, $140 million when he signed. 5 years, 140. Average salary is going to be $28 million a year. So So and he has total guaranteed 65 million. So anyway, and so you could convince him to look, man, we're going to be winning things here, you know. So you done made $30 million a year, and last week you was throwing helmets. A week before you were throwing helmets, right? So all money ain't good money. That's what I'm gonna say. And so if Jerry's the salesman he is a look here, man, there's some benefit in playing for the Cowboys. It just is. It's marketing ability, marketing exposure, footprints. You can have access to. I mean, I've seen him in the Taco Bell commercials, all this stuff. But I mean, there's benefit. And can you imagine having CD on one side, Devontae Adams on the other side? And, you know, you can always move that money around. I'm going to tell you just like this. If the Eagles were in our position, they'd go get him if they didn't have a wide receiver too. Which leads me to my next point. Wide receiver 2. Well, we woke up also this morning and found out that Brandon Cooks is going to be out for the Steelers game. So now let's count. So we're not going to have Micah. We're not going to have D-Law. We don't know if we're going to have Kalen Carson or not because, you know, he missed last game. And now we know we're not going to have Brandon Cook. So, wow. So apparently, you know, he's been having issues with his knee. So, you know, so he took an injection to deal with that pain, and he got an infection. So he's going to possibly miss a couple of weeks. Now, again, most teams, if they lost their wide receiver 2 for something, of course, it might only be for a couple of weeks. Now, we've been having some problems on a wide receiver 2 all season because Brandon Cooks, I don't think it's all his fault. If you watch the Lando show, he does a real detailed analysis of, you know, he went because Brandon Cooks only got like 19 targets. And he chronicled all 19 of them targets, and about half of them, I think like 8 of them were like what you would call stick routes or stop routes, which is not a route that you would want for a guy like Brandon Cooks, who's like 5'9" and 190 pounds. You know, you want to have him on routes where he's running all the way across the field, or a deep dig route, or a non-route, you know, crossing routes and those kind of things, post routes and those kind of things, deep posts. But anyhow, you would be on the horn trying to get a Devontae Adams. I might have said Devontae Adams or an Amari Cooper. Let me tell you something. The Kansas City Chiefs, if you saw the game with them and the Chargers Sunday, you know that Rashee Rice got his ACL ruptured by Patrick Mahomes. It was definitely friendly fire, trying to break up a tackle an interceptor, and tried to, you know, low bridge him or tackle him, and he ended up tackling his own wide receiver who was behind the guy that intercepted the ball. And so I guarantee you the Chiefs will go get Amari Cooper because they basically can get him for nothing. Okay. And now they're not going to be able to get Devontae Adams because I think they were asking for a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick. And of course, now you still got to pay him. But I guarantee you for the Chiefs, it would be 2 1st round picks because they're in the same division. You're going to have to see him twice a week. So you know they're not going to do that. But if it was a way possible, my man at Kansas City, I can't remember the GM's name. It's not Les Snead, that's the Rams. It'll come to me in a minute. He would go get him because he want to keep this train rolling. But the Cowboys, yeah, we're gonna elevate Ryan Flournoy, which I'm excited to see what Flournoy do because Flournoy is a big X receiver, man. And so when Brandon Cooks come back, you know what I would do? I'm moving Cooks to the slot. That's what I would do. I'm running Cooks to the slot. All right. That's what I would do. I'm running Cooks to the slot. All right. All right. So let's go back to here. This thing's doing some silly things here. All right. So anyway, All right, let's see here. Where we at here? Where we at in the talking points? All right, so Brandon Cooks is out. They're gonna bring up Brian Flournoy. Be called up because that's what we do. We don't go get nobody else's players. We don't go get, no free agents we don't do that. We'll get a practice squad player from another team, or we'll run one of our players from the practice squad, to the 53 man roster. So that's what we'll end up doing. Flournoy will get a chance to start, not start, but play. He'll probably go with Jalen Tolbert. It's probably who we'll probably go with, But here's my thing, and we'll get ready to close the video. My problem is that the whole Cowboys way of orchestrating and building rosters, because it's all about the young guys, the guys we draft. We love the guys we draft. We LOG. We love our guys. And you kind of bypass everybody else's guys. It's like you feel like, no, rather than go get, a Devontae Adams or, whatever, a player. I mean, I just pick some random player on another team that's wanting to relocate. No, we would go just elevate a guy from my practice squad or draft a guy, not understanding that those guys are not on the same level that these guys are already in the league. So, for instance, you're going to try to tell me, they'll try to tell you, oh, we have total confidence in these guys. We want these guys that's got to step up. So we still waiting on who I just was just telling you about, Jalen. Aren't we still waiting on him? Got drafted in 22. Aren't we still waiting on him to make some kind of hit? I think he's got like maybe 20, 25, 30 catches in 3 years. Okay, so you would put that guy in a high leverage moment rather than go get a Devontae Adams, which it might cost you a little money, but you get what you pay for. Okay, so like right now on Sunday, you're gonna put a rookie against TJ Watt, and you think that, oh yeah, I'm all in on these young guys, because we don't want to spend the money. I always would have kept Tyron Smith, let him train him, let him learn under this guy, because obviously there's a lot of little things that he needs to learn how to do. And a vet, we never let the guys, I've talked about this in my other videos, we never let the old heads peer or the young guys that give them pointers. Like I'm telling you right now, have we never gotten rid of Stephon Gilmore, we wouldn't have lost that Baltimore Ravens game. First of all, he's not whiffing on that tackle on Aguilar, and I bet you on that critical 3rd and 6 play that Diggs gave too much inside room to Flowers, he would have probably told him, hey, I've seen this route before. I've seen this formation before. You cheating over too much to the inside. He's not gonna run an inside route. He's running an out route, and he probably could have broke that play up. Could have picked it off or knocked it down. And we may would have won that game. If those 2 plays are made. Okay. But we love our young guys. And we only use the outside guys for as long as we need them for. Oh, Brandon Cooks on his way out, So, because we, the quote boss cowboy, we love the bastards. We hate the bastards. What I mean by that is players that come from other teams. We only use them as much as we need to use them for, then we cast them to the side. Now I'm getting into some other content now. But yeah, all these rumblings and all this, like I said, we only been here 3 days. So they called up Flournoy, and this proves you what I'm talking about, our guys versus the bastards. What happened after the Saints game? Jordan Phillips got bitched and got sent to the IR, but Mozzie Smith, who played equally as bad, it's going to be all right, kid. Because why? We drafted him. Jordan Phillips is a guy he's a outside kid. He's a step kid, right? Same thing. Ron Flournoy, okay? Call him up, okay? He ain't said nothing about Cooks, right? Or Cooks don't have it. He's not. I'm like, he can't be any worse than the running backs we got now that's out there. Do you realize something Skywalker Steel said this morning when I was listening to him on my way to my car service appointment? Do you know the Cowboys' longest run this year? What I'm talking about, run, is 12 yards, and it ain't even by a running back. It's by CeeDee Lamb. We're the only team in the league that don't have a 20-yard run. Now, you trying to tell me we got room to where we can shelve Dalvin Cook, who wasn't in practice today because he's ill. And I think he's sick of us, is what it is. There's foolishness that we do with our inside players and the outside players. I don't like it. And I think it's not good for team building because you only use your own players. And you've proven that that's not enough. And no other team builds their team that way. So, but I'm anxious to see what Flournoy will look like. But I'm not really liking throwing him into the Wolves against the Steelers, against the number one defense in the league. No safety net. Some of these other guys have had some games under their belt where they can kind of get, grafted in, but not Flournoy. So we'll see what that happens. So as we get towards the game Sunday, look, man, I'm just going to tell you like this. You can think how you want to about it. That game's going to be all about Dak. It's going to be all about Dak because it's going to be all about Dak and Zim. Okay. I'm going to say that because I think because we're lacking on defense when our defensive ends are out. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to have more of a team defense approach, which, I think Zimmer's scheme was having a hard time being implemented because you had two guys. It was kind of like, were the stars of the team kind of doing their own. I'm not saying they were going rogue, but I will say that they were kind of like doing some superhuman things. But I think Zimmer's scheme is going to be good enough that if you just have just guys, he could have the gang schemed well. We're going to need to blitz Justin Fields because he's not good picking up blitzes and that sort of thing. So, and I guarantee you Zimmer's going to have a scheme for that. And he had extra time to prepare for that too. But I think that the defense, I'm not saying we're going to, get a bunch of sacks. I'm not saying any of that stuff, but I will say that I think with the team aspect going, I guarantee you there's going to be more of a swarm or more of a fundamental thing. And I think they're going to confuse him a lot. Now on offense, look, man, it's going to be all about Dak. Dak's going to have to make the plays. He's going to have to carry them on offense. Okay. And I'm gonna say it. Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, right? It's gonna be all on Dak. Injuries all throughout the defense, and rookies and inexperienced weapons on offense. My prognosis is defense will play more team defense. Dak is the more seasoned quarterback, and he will get it done. Yes, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Dak will get it done. He will get it done. And the Cowboys will win. I will come on later, and I see you, Estrada. I'm gonna get to your comment. Let me see. Let me do this right here. Hang on a second. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, I saw King Henry against the Bills, and you know what I thought, Estrada? Let me tell you, you know what I saw? What I thought? I thought with every broken tackle, I mean, he took Taylor Rapp out, man. That guy tried to tackle him and went out with a concussion. He's trying to tackle him. I think he got kneed in the head. He just ran over dude. It's like he did him like he did our boy Kalen Carson. But every big run that King Henry did, Jerry Jones looked dumber and dumber Because let me tell you something. I'm trying to think what content creator I heard was talking about it. Think about this. I want to say it might have been Rome. It might have been Rome of Cowboy Fan Talk, because I listened to them all. From Law Nation to Cowboy Fan Talk to Skywalker Steel, Boss Cowboy, Henry the Moore, Landlord. I listen to all of them. That's my content. That's what I listen to. I don't listen to the ESPNs and I'll just say 4-letter and 3-letter networks. I don't listen to them. So I get my content from them guys and stuff. But I think it was him that said, to show you how dumb that their team building is. Say Derrick Henry wanted $8 million. He might have took $7 million. Look, man, he might have took less money to play for the Cowboys when he's gonna be in his own home. He ain't got to rent a place. He's living at home. He's gonna be living in his own place. He don't even have to rent a place. Okay, there's no tax in Texas, so he might have got a $7 million deal. Okay, and if that's the case, do you realize you would be paying him the same amount of money that you're paying Trey Lance, to sit on the bench and never enter a game, which is about $5.5 towards $6 million. So basically, for just a little bit more amount that you was willing to give Trey Lance, because you were trying to play funny business with Dak Prescott to get some sort of advantage, but you still paying $5-6 million for him to sit on the bench and do nothing, because he's never going to get in the game unless you make him the number 2 quarterback, because the NFL got silly rules like that. You could have had Derrick Henry. So every time he scores on a 50, what was that, an 87-yard run he did on his first run, just gone. Safeties and back couldn't catch him. I'm sitting there like Jerry Jones, looking dumber and dumber every time I look at it. So that's why I got it in my little hashtag in my thing, fire the GM, because I think the GM needs to be fired. But it's not something that's going to help anything, because whoever, if he was to remove himself from the GM spot, he would still control who they hired, tell them who to pick, who not to pick, who to sign, who not to sign, and you see the same thing, but he would be doing it behind the scenes, sort of like got his hand up his back like a ventriloquist. That's what he'd be doing. So, but there's been a lot of that, and I can't wait till the next time there's a home game. I guarantee you that, because that movement is gaining traction. It's gaining traction. Okay, but yes, sir, I did see King Henry against the Bills. They destroyed them. And Derrick Henry got like about 5, because he got 181 against us and 199 against them. So that's like 400 yards almost right there. And of course, he got the other 2 games. I think he got like 70 yards or something like that against the Kansas City Chiefs. That just seems how much in my mind, 70 or 80 yards there. So he's got almost 1,000 yards already in 4 games. And we ain't got a running back to have a 12-yard run yet. But we love our guys. What about Jerry landing on the practice? What about Jerry landing on the practice field? Oh, yeah. I did hear about that, man. You brought up something. I did hear about that. That he landed on them, and some people thought they were bringing somebody on the helicopter, right? And it was just Jerry, and I'm like, oh shit. You couldn't run that thing into a tree. No, I shouldn't say that. You know what, man? No, I didn't say that. Yeah, he landed on the practice field. Like, of course, I'm more important. Me coming and landing is more important than y'all's practice time, of course, right? Yeah. Stop everything and y'all see me, right? He's so self-important, Yeah, I did see that, Roland. I saw that. I heard about that. I wouldn't have brought it up until you mentioned it, because I had to be perfectly honest, I had forgotten about that. But anywho, But anyway, I'm gonna jump on off here, man. I just want to share my thoughts on the things I saw this week, and I was like, man, only the Cowboys will have that many things: the injuries, the significance of those injuries. Picking up a guy of the Bengals to replace them, perusing the practice squad so we have four. You need to have four edge rushers in the game. Doing that, the rumors about Devontae Adams, rumors about Hassan Reddick, of course, knowing full well as a Cowboy fan and knowing your team, we ain't doing none of that stuff. What do you think Jimmy would have done about what, Roland? About him landing on his practice field? Get your off my practice field. That's what he would have done, because Jerry didn't run Jimmy. Now, he may have been in charge, but he didn't run Jimmy. Okay? Now, he may have signed Jimmy's checks. He may have been the guy that ran him off or whatever. It's been said that it was mutual. But Jerry didn't run Jimmy. You do your thing over here, and I'm running the team. I don't want you addressing my team. I don't want you talking to my team in the locker room. That's my area. I don't want you talking to the media about my injury report. That's what I do. So no, man. There's certain areas that he's the GM. GMs don't do that either. Most times you don't even know who the GMs are on these teams. Now, because I do content, I happen to know who the GMs are on all 32 teams. I know the names of them. I just happen to forget the. I didn't want to do that today, Roland. But if you must. $27-17, same as the Super Bowl 30, 27-17, Cowboys. I just got a feeling it's just too many things going against us that I just feel that we're gonna make a way. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. So I said, 27-17. That will be the score. But anyway, that's all I got. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell other folks about Uncle Fred. We want to try to expand this channel. I'm trying to get my memberships up, because you got to have 1,000, to get monetized. I'm probably around 200, so I got more to do. Now I got to make more content too, so I got to do my part. But anyway, if you like it, hit the like button, because it'll send algorithms to people so that they can see the video. It'll put them in their space, and they'll see the video. And that's just like currency. Even though it's not money, it's like money. And do that and become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience, because I guarantee you will not be disappointed. We'll catch you guys. I might jump on here probably Saturday and see if my ideas have changed about what score might be, and I'll just kind of give a little more analysis on how I think the game itself might go on Saturday, and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, man, God bless you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next video.